Greetings, subscribers, haters, trolls, and tropers, and welcome back to Let's Play EG. In this episode, we are continuing on where we left off and starting with Sector 2. Or going to Sector 2 anyway. And we are now in Sector 2. There's a medical bay nearby. We need to find this simulated powerful upgrade here, according to Dan. We're trying to get closer to Crotera and try to convince him. Of course, we don't know if this is going to work or not, but we don't have much other choice anyway. And he doesn't really have a good reputation, but it's all we can do at this time because Dan needs to know more on something he can't tell us because he thinks we're some kind of little baby infant that can only assimilate so much information at one time. Yeah, and also we still don't understand why no one else noticed what was going on, and basically he tells us not to worry about what's going on, but logically we should be worrying about what's going on because he's keeping secrets from us. That's not good. That's actually the end of Sector 1. You can't go back because that door is too strong to kick down no matter what. Now here's some more help logs. There's security doors, which are operated by nanofields, which means you can crack them, or hack them. Basically, this is what I usually do in pacifistic mode. You can press the C key to connect to security doors, or enemies even. An interface will appear and give you information about what you're cracking. Push C again and you have a screen of blue nodes. I mean, you need to move your node through a bunch of other nodes before a timer runs out without running into them, and the crack will be successful. See? Like this. I connect to a security door, it gives me its level. When I begin, I move my little node through these nodes before the timer runs out, and I open the door. It's very simple. Well, not very simple, it gets trickier later on, but it's not too complicated. The more secure objects you're trying to crack, the bigger the node screen's going to be. Anything you crack is a certain security level, so you've got to upgrade the crack stat to crack more stuff. And then there's these boxes, which you blow up if you shoot them. You need to crack them open. And anyway, if you fail to crack something, bad stuff can happen depending on what difficulty level you're playing on. You can abort a cracking attempt by pushing enter, and before you've actually started the nodes, that doesn't count as a failure. So you can check the security without trying to crack it. But this box is only level 1, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And this has a resonance detonator. It's actually a pretty darn useful weapon. Kamado resonance detonator. It's by a different species of alien. Stolen by the Tazen, it's a nano-weapon. It shoots out a shockwave but works like your kick. It can break stuff and knock down enemies if you're strong enough. It's pretty useful, but it has a low... and it takes a long time to recharge. Infinite ammunition, so it's probably something to use only when you're skilled at the game. You can actually hack enemies and mess up their nanofields. So if you hack a Tazen soldier, for example, when they try to use the rockets, they will only blow themselves up instead, which is actually pretty useful. But only problem is you have to have high crack levels to do this. You can't just walk up to an enemy and crack a nanofield. You better try it when they're standing still, or try to do it from behind. And a cracked enemy dies, it will always drop some useful ammunition it wouldn't drop otherwise. So that's useful. Because I really don't need health, I'm going to be pouring these points to the cracks. I don't need them for anything else. Because, I gotta get my fix, gotta get, my... whatever you call kids call crack these days. This is a nano-weapon station. You can combine your nano-weapons into stronger versions. You can combine two together. For example, you can combine a shotgun and a machine gun to get a buster gun, which I'm going to be doing later in the sector. But they require a high crack stat. And so that's pretty much as far as the tutorial goes. It takes you just that far, and it leaves you off, and it lets you figure everything out yourself. And so now I've upgraded my crack so I can get the resonance reflector right here. This takes security of 4, but after a couple little... Yeah, you can fail those. I was being a bit reckless right there, but you can combine these two nano-weapons together, because I've upgraded my crack now, to get the resonance reflector, which uses no ammunition, it doesn't deal direct damage. It can reflect mass-based projectiles, like rockets, MPFBs, and shock splinters. It can't reflect machine guns or shotguns, it only can reflect projectile mass-based weapons. They do not award kills when striking enemies, unless you originally fired the projectile. So basically, this is what I'm using for most of the game, so I don't actually have to kill anyone. I can reflect shots back to avoid getting owned myself, so I can still have defense, but I won't kill anyone. Now in there is a Tazen commander. He's pretty strong, he can punch you across the room and stuff, but he's guarding nano. And my strength isn't high enough to get through that door, darn. I could upgrade it down here, but there's these guys anyway. And they're actually I don't know, touching enemies drains your armor like crazy this early in the game, so that's what you need to watch out more than anything else. Well, that and for rockets. Rockets are a big deal, because right now, 2 rockets can kill me really quick. Just 2 rockets. Now this Tazen soldier will shoot this explosive barrel right here, and kill itself in the process. The enemies aren't actually too smart. They do have somewhat advanced AI, but they get a lot smarter on higher difficulties. I do know that from experience. I've almost beaten the game on extreme difficulty. I got stuck in the final level, but I almost finished it. I got pretty far, and I did notice that the enemies were quite a bit smarter on that difficulty. So yeah, this game is quite a bit of fun here. I'm not really interested in upgrading my Tazen stat. Well, I don't know exactly. I've got enough crack for right now, so I'll put it into something else later. I don't really know right now. Oh, here's a log. A Tazen commander about the human anomaly. Okay, there's a human anomaly. That's us. Yeah, I have nanotechnology, and we're pretty special. And they think we're cooperating with Kamado, whoever they are, and so we're trying to kill her. We're trying to kill us as warning the Kamado about us being there. So basically, they don't trust us, and I wouldn't blame them, considering how strange we are and how they've already killed most of the humans in this area. I guess they might think I want revenge, but I'm not in this for revenge. I'm gonna update my health upgrade, sorry, so I don't have to worry too much about that later. Because you're gonna need to probably max out your health by the end of the game. It's a good idea to max out your health by the end of the game. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. I can't stop! I seriously cannot stop. I can't... That was hilarious. My computer glitched out, and I kept constantly walking forward. And I couldn't stop for some reason because I got tabbed out of the screen. That was priceless. Anyway, this book says turret defenses. Turrets are specifically designed to target humans. They won't target the Tazen at all. That's actually pretty interesting. Some of the turrets in the other areas have really upgraded nano weapons. That's interesting. Only problem is you can kick them right off like construction poles fairly easily. And that's just a terminal. You can open it in one click. You don't actually have to worry about cracking it. So that's good because cracking takes time. You can actually interrupt it by cracking and take damage. Well, these are nano overloads anyway. I just picked one up earlier. That's why you saw I didn't go flying when I took damage. Basically, that caused me to tech stuff anyway, which means you don't go flying when you take damage. It's a bit like lag canceling in fighter games. That's the analogy I can think of. Anyway, nano overloads have completely random results, and if you've been killing a lot of people, it will be an offensive result. If you're playing passively, it will be a defensive result, like an automatic resonance reflector, or that teching ability, like I mentioned. So that's pretty cool. Now this is an instant nanodrive powered restoration unit. Essentially, it's an extra life, or a checkpoint. Basically, if you die, you'll get respawned right back here, and everything else will be just the same as it was when you died. All the enemies you killed will be dead. Basically, it just lets you continue instantly from where you started the level, instead of having to restart the whole level. But it only can get used once. There's multiple ones in later levels, and they are darn useful. Well, sort of useful. Especially at higher difficulty modes. Okay, here's a turret. There's another commander here. Now this is actually pretty cool. You can punch you around, which is pretty good, but you can actually get... Yeah, enemies can pick up... You saw right there how I picked up that health? Enemies can collect health from nano. That's actually one of their higher priorities if they don't see you in range. Now this is the upgrade, the jump upgrade. Let's just jump higher so we can go more places. See? Much higher. That means we can make our daring escape through the air vents. You don't actually have to go down here, but just a quick way back. You know where we left off. And every one of Mia's ribbons. And so, Iji, our main character, and Dan are the only ones who survived. That's pretty darn depressing. And it's just the two of us, well, really me, Dan doesn't really do much, he's the mission control guy. Just the two of us versus the world. So this is actually pretty interesting, but you're gonna need to have upgraded your health first. You gotta jump into this rocket and send yourself flying, and not mess up like I did. Come on, shoot a rocket. Yeah, like that. Just casually jump into it and you get blown up there. But you have to have upgraded your health and be careful. You can die pretty easily. That sends you back down here, and because you have a jump upgrade, you can go right over here pretty simply. There's an enemy, and they both fire rockets. That's not good. Okay. And there's an explosive barrel here, which is not much use to me. And now here's a rocket launcher, which you can get this fairly early in the game, actually right here, if you have a tasing stat of 6. But that's, I don't know, a pretty high stat right there. And so I'm not going to be able to get it, unless I use the nanofield rebooting, but I'm not going to be showing that off in this playthrough until near the end when I need to, because you're not supposed to know about that the first time around. You don't learn until like the very end of the game, literally. So, I don't know, I'll see if there's any other points I should pump stuff into later. I'll just save them until I have a better chance to decide what's going on. Punch! Yay. That's actually a pretty efficient way to get around, to get punched, or kicked, or blown up by enemies. Tazen Commander, screw this. My philosophy exactly. Basically, this guy doesn't think the Komodo are actually going to find them. And if they do find them, game over. Yeah, there's no need to stay armed and alert, because I'm pretty much the only threat to them at all, and I'm not even killing them. They should rebuild what little they have and stuff. This guy's starting to even wonder if we're actually hostile, as we thought, or if Gotera is being a jerk and insulting the Tazen legacy. Yeah, that's right. And he is totally, by the way. He's a real jerk. Still, orders are orders. So, some of these guys don't actually like them, but some of them do. Just varies. Now, this high security door can be opened by cracking above, or you can open it directly. But Dan doesn't think we can do it, because he doesn't think I would have thought to upgrade my crack. Yeah, we have a lot of tension between E.G. and Dan, between us and him, because he's a bit of a jerk. He is. He's rude. And he's rude, but without him we wouldn't be getting as far as we would, so we live with it. Oh, anyway, the Tazen Center of Information. We have nanofields. They can be reprogrammed, and the nanogun is a shape-shifting factory which builds the projectiles for each new weapon. You can connect to another nanofield by physical contact. Each nanofield has security measures. It reboots to its original state if critically threatened. That's nanofield rebooting, which has a specific combo to it. I'll put it in the description in case anyone's interested. The nanofield is unbeatable by traditional weaponry. It takes nano-weapons to scratch someone with a nanofield. And we also can do melee combat with nanofields, but the detonator and reflector aren't terribly useful for the most part. And the Phantom Hammer, a motion wave gun, massive laser, is the only thing that can fully break nanofield. So far yet. I can actually go up there. Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and show off what's up there. There's some interesting stuff up here, even though you don't actually need to, because I cracked the door. But, just stuff, and I like showing off stuff. Because that's what this whole playthrough is about. That's what gaming's about. Or Let's Plays anyway, are about in general, showing stuff off. Oh, and by the way, if you're gonna pass this run, don't kick turrets around too much. They instantly kill us, Tazen Scout, and you don't want to be doing that. If you're gonna pass this run. Okay, maximum level for the sector, not friggin' bad. Okay, you shouldn't go in there unless you know what you're doing. When you crack that door, there's a Tazen going to be controlling the room. And you don't want a little brother boss mess around. That's so sweet. But you do have to get along with Dan, because he's your biggest ally, and now I'm invisible. I'm like the spy. Only problem is you can't, like, backstab people or anything. Which, this is actually not quite as useful as you'd think. Seriously, it is. I could fight that guy in there, but I don't feel like it. He's strong, he's tough, and I might actually have to kill him if I actually get in there and start kick a fight with him. Yeah, he's a bit too strong for this point in the game. So yeah, nanovision is actually fairly useful. It's not quite as useful as you think, but it's fun for making notes. Enemies can still notice you if you shoot at them or something, but they'll still remain invisible. That's pretty much all there is up there. I could upgrade my health, but I don't think there's a terrible amount of fun to it. So I'll probably start focusing on weapons next time I find a Tazen Terminator. Or, yeah, those are the most common, so the next time I find one of those. Now, there's actually a poster down there, but I'm not showing off posters in this run. Probably because I'm doing the pacifistic run and you need to get kills to get something. And probably because it's annoying. It's actually fairly hard getting a lot of posters. There's a security box in there, but odds are I'm going to have to kill that soldier to get it. And besides, I'm right at the end of the level right here, so I don't worry about it. I'm just going onward. See if there's anything in here? Machine gun ammo. I don't need it. Can't even get it. Nah, I'm not going to waste that. So now this is Sector 2. There's a ladder even. This ought to be nice. And we end with a cutscene. And Oh, look, there's a balcony up there. All right. Wait, why not? Why can't we go out there? Yeah, exactly what I said. What do you mean we're not ready for that yet? I hear that in all kinds of video games and stuff, but we can do what we want. We don't care about our own good. Our job is to explore. We'd like to know what's going on around here once in a while, like she said. And stuff. It's a cutscene. What could possibly go wrong? We don't need to worry about Oh. Yes, that's not good, is it? Oh. Okay, now this is where Dan stopped seeming quite so much like a jerk. Because he had a reason for keeping the truth from us. I mean, he still does some things that are quite a bit jerky. I mean, he still does some things that are quite rather rude, but after this point we begin to understand him a bit better. Both the player and E.G. begin to sympathize with him a bit more. And everyone, we're not the only survivors, but there's not many people left. And we're the only ones with a chance of doing anything. And sadly, it's not a dream. It's a video game. And our mission of finding Cortera and talking him into leaving is the only hope left for what's left. It's pretty funny, actually. But we're no heroes. But I'm not a hero. I'm just a guy sitting in front of his computer. But I've beaten this game before. I can beat it again. That's one thing to be sure. And this is... I know that the game's plot hasn't just been completely absent from earlier, but this is a part where it actually starts to really hit the player. It starts to, punches you right in the gut, and that's when you know that this plot is going to be an integral part of the game. You know that the plot's going to be great. It's just the part where the plot starts to get really interesting is what I'm trying to say. That was pretty convoluted, and, well, I could have gone worse. It actually went pretty well, I'd say, for a run. And notice how in the pose, E.G.'s hair is covering her eyes. It's in shadow. I don't know if it's different than in the other sector's ending pose, but it is like that in this sector. That's actually pretty interesting. Cause I don't know if it's actually different than the other sectors, because I actually don't know. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. This has been Let's Play E.G., and I'm Mario Potter, signing off. Good night, everyone.